Hi, this is Matthew Hurd, and I'm the host of This Mobile Life by Inspired Worlds. This podcast is about two things, mobile apps and being mobile. So that means working remotely, having your life stored in the cloud, and having a mobile office. Our first podcast is with Jason Allan, Digital Marketing Manager from Cammy. We discuss mobile apps versus web apps, online marketing, cross-platform experience, and software as a service. All the information from the show will be in our show notes on our blog. Hey, welcome to the first episode of This Mobile Life. I'm with a good friend of mine, Jason Allan. He's a digital marketing manager at Cammy, a startup in Sydney, Australia, and he's also a big sports fan as well. So welcome to the show, Jace.
Thanks, Matt. Glad to be here.
So let's start just with where you started your career, with sports. I know you're a big sports fan as well.
I am a big sports fan. I guess growing up, I always wanted to be a sports star, particularly playing the NBA. Unfortunately, my height though didn't. I wasn't growing to 6 feet, 7 feet tall. So I guess I love sport and wanted to, when I finished school, to try to be around sports. So I thought the best way to do that was to get into sports management and marketing. So I was very lucky to secure a job in sports management and manage some of the world's best athletes as part of a small sports agency based out of Manly. So that was some of the best years of my life. A lot of highlights, working around some of these incredible athletes, and had a ball.
Yeah, it sounds awesome. It sounds like that character Tom Cruise in that movie was a sports agent. Was there anything like that?
I think you're talking about Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
Look, there's a bit more paperwork than that movie displays, but it was there's things like accompanying the athletes to TV appearances, and there's a lot of media and a lot of hype around big name athletes. So definitely there was a bit of Jerry Maguire, but a lot more time in the office in front of a computer, day to day. So.
And who are some of the athletes that you help manage?
So our biggest athlete was Ian Thorpe, and we managed Ian, I guess, right through the glory days at his peak, and were there when he retired, and it was he's such a great athlete, but also a great guy, and it was a real pleasure to work with him. We managed a lot of Olympic athletes, some action sports athletes. Some of the Socceroos when they qualified for the 2006 World Cup. So really diverse, broad range of athletes. I think Cadel Evans was another one of our kind of high profile athletes, and we were there when he won the Tour de France. And so a lot of highs, and it was a lot of fun.
Cool. I have a few connections to Ian Thorpe as well. He not the same as yours, but he used to train at the swimming pool in our suburb, the heated swimming pool in Padstow, when he was growing up. And his mother taught at our primary school, Pinning Point. And when we bought a property in Voyager Point, he was one of our neighbours that lived nearby as well. So I feel very closely connected to Ian Thorpe.
There you go. Yeah, he's a great guy, and that was great times working with him, and it was great to see what he was able to achieve in the pool, but also away from the pool. Incredible athlete, incredible guy.
Yeah, and I see you've got a big St. George jersey in the back. It's signed as well.
I do. Yeah, my friends got that for me for my 30th birthday. I'm a huge Dragons fan, and our whole family are Dragon supporters. Yeah. So I think you'd be kicked out of the family if you weren't a Dragon supporter.
That's like when I went to high school at Sydney Tech. Everyone was a St. George supporter. But I lived in Bankstown or around that area, so I was a big Canterbury Bulldog supporter.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what happened after you finished up with the sports management career? I know that you started a company after that.
I did, yeah. I guess I always wanted to start a company, and while I had such a fantastic job in sports, I didn't want to give that up, and it was only when I got out of sport that I looked to start my own technology company, and that was it was called Smash Repair Bid. It was, I guess, a company that was looking to disrupt the smash repair market in that, I guess, a service that made it easy for people to find a repairer at the lowest price, and I guess yeah, that's what we did for a lot of customers. It was a great journey. I did it for about 18 months and was able to grow the business, but ultimately it didn't succeed for lots of different reasons. Particularly, the market itself was a challenge, and like any startup, you learn a lot, and it was my first. And I think we definitely kicked some goals, and while it didn't succeed, I'm very proud of what we were able to do, and the customers that we were able to acquire and help. So yeah, it was a great journey.
So from memory, what you described, it's like a marketplace, right? That connects people that have smashed their cars or have done damage to their cars or need maintenance, and connects them with the repair shops.
Correct. That's what the business did, and I guess we're solving a few problems with that industry. One was these smash repairers don't have websites. There's not much information online, so it's very hard to kind of shop around and know who to trust. Secondly, getting prices involved. Taking a Saturday morning off and driving around for 3 hours to get prices, and so there was a few challenges there for the consumer. And I'm talking about private repairs, not so much insurance, but private repairs, which is a big market in itself, and it was the market we were chasing. So they were the strong pain points, which was a positive about the startup. I guess the negatives or the challenges were the market itself, the way that it was structured and set up. It was hard to deliver the solution that we ideally wanted to provide the consumer with, the solution that they were crying out for. It was kind of modified to work with the market setup. So that was one big challenge. But like any startup or any business that ultimately doesn't succeed, it's down to lots of little reasons that I think come together, and it's never one or two reasons.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. I remember you wrote this like really epic blog post when you closed down the business. And I remember like one of the things you mentioned was acquiring customers was tough. Like the cost of customer acquisition was higher than the lifetime value of the customer. Was that right?
Yeah, that was one challenge. I guess unless you're a really bad driver, you don't crash your car every day. And, not to say that was why it didn't succeed. I mean, you don't buy a car every day, but car sales is a huge business. We were making good commissions off the repairs, but ultimately, you don't crash your car every day, so you weren't coming back to us. We gave you a really good experience. You saved money. You told friends about us, but ultimately those friends didn't become a customer until they crashed their car. So, yeah, that was another issue or challenge with the business.
Yeah. And was it a mobile app, or it was a website as well, right?
It was a mobile app.
Okay.
Yeah. So we actually, it's funny because we started with a desktop version of the product and quickly moved to the app, and both had pros and cons. But in the end, we offered both services for the consumer.
Yeah, and that's something I wanted to touch on later, like that cross-platform experience of mobile and web. But let's put that aside for now. And then after your startup, you started doing some consulting work. I remember like you were teaching at GA, the growth hacking course, and then you started working at Canva as well.
Yeah, so off the back of the startup, I guess I did a lot of consulting work and built up a good client base of startups, but also traditional businesses, and did things like copywriting, content marketing, helped one company with their AdWords, landing page optimization. And you're right, teaching at General Assembly was a good opportunity, and I think it was yourself that introduced me to GA and the teaching there. So got you to thank for that. But teaching at GA has been a real pleasure. It's great to share, I guess, the lessons that I learned through my startup, and also pass on. I'm working with a startup at the moment that's growing really well, and being able to share some success stories, not just what doesn't work, but what is working and working for us. So
yeah, I think the thing I like about teaching as well, it forces you to master that topic as well, and you're learning as you do it because you need to know it inside out, and then you're also learning a bit from the students as well when they give their perspective.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. I think whenever it's like when you write, you write blogs, and you always learn a bit when you write about a subject, and particularly, yeah, when you teach it, yeah, you discover things about a topic that you don't necessarily think of if you're just reading it, say from a book. So definitely hugely valuable teaching a topic.
Yeah, and I think I've met another instructor at GA that also works at Cammy as well. It's Bryce, right?
Brees, yeah.
Bryce, yeah, the front end designer.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think I did one of his courses on cross-platform design or front-end development. I can't remember what it was, but it was a good course.
Yeah, it's yeah. Brees is extremely talented developer, and it's funny at the startup I'm at the moment, Cammy. We have a big team, but a lot of the guys have started their own companies. There's a lot of, I guess, entrepreneurs there that have gone out there and tried something on their own, and it's great to have, I guess, that mix of people that have kind of been there before and tried their own startup, and we all learn from each other. And maybe it's one reason why the startup is growing really well at the moment, and we have a really exciting product. So
yeah, so I know that you've got a couple of guns working there. So Jimmy, the CEO, is a good friend of mine as well, and Dan as well. He's also from a startup, so he had a startup in StartMate.
correct, yeah, yeah. Dan handles all our back end and does a really great job. We handle so much data. I think yeah, maybe a quarter or half of what Instagram does at the moment. So we're obviously different companies, but there's a huge data load there. So Dan does a really good job, and Jimmy, our CEO, is a really great guy, great manager, and runs the company really well. He's definitely got a knack for the CEO role. So
yeah, and tell us a little bit about Cammy, what it does.
So Cammy, it's basically a simple security solution that lets you watch over your home or business or pets or family from anywhere, anytime using your smartphone. So it's basically a software as a service that connects with Wi-Fi cameras that you plug in at home, and then you're able to check on your home and see what's going on. What makes it different, because we're in a competitive market with things like Dropcam or Nest Cam and traditional security, is that we have sophisticated software that has smart person alerts, so where we can kind of tell the difference between a cat and a cat burglar.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big selling point of the product. And there's also other selling points like it's low data usage. There's free cloud storage. We have a good deal at the moment where we provide 2 free cameras for customers. So there's the security, privacy work that goes into the product. So there's a lot of different things that make us different, but it's going really well.
And so, what's the difference between a cat and a cat burglar? One steals your stuff.
One's a person, one's not. So basically, the cameras pick up all movement or motion detection, but what ours does is only notifies you when a person's detected. So you get the best of both worlds. You can monitor your pets, but at the same time, you know that you'll get an alert if a person's detected when the alarm is on. So
yeah.
It's a peace of mind product. That's basically the end benefit for people. It's peace of mind. The home's okay when they're not there.
Yeah, and so it's a mobile app, right, and a web app.
Correct. Yeah.
So if there's some motion detected, or I can just look at the app and I can see how my property is looking via the hardware camera that's installed in my house.
Correct. Yeah. So the camera picks up all motion, but you can also see a live view, HD view of your camera, and you can kind of pan tilt it. It's also got 2-way audio, so it's like a walkie-talkie. You can tell the dog to get off the couch, or tell the kids to do the homework. So there's lots of use cases, and I guess one of our goals is to make it a product that you use every day. So it's not just for security or waiting for a burglar to pop up. It's there's lots of use cases. So.
Yeah, and who's your target customer? Like, what kind of people are adopting and using Cammy?
It's actually a really broad range, and it's still early days. So we haven't kind of, said this is our customer. Although we can look at the people using the product at the moment, we're not discounting other user groups. So in the early, I guess we've been running about a year and a half now, but only selling the paid product for about 6 months. And I guess the early users were kind of your early tech adopters, very, very focused around security. But recently we've branched into mothers looking after children, or the babysitter, and then also pet owners and things like that. So there's lots of different use cases. It's and that's what makes it exciting. It's a product that I guess we haven't defined or locked in the target market, which is something that is exciting because we can test different things, different market segments. So
and it's a software as a service, right? So the customer pays like every month for the service.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
And what's the typical like price structure, or what are the tiers that you have?
So at the moment we have a very simple price structure. So basically $30 a month in Australia and the US. And if you commit for 12 months, like a 12-month agreement, we'll throw in 2 free cameras valued at $398. So it's really good value to kind of get on board and experience the product. And we're confident that once users experience the product, then they'll stick around for a long time. And that's the kind of SaaS or software as a service goal. And I guess we've also got a free trial if you want to buy your own cameras, a kind of month free trial. So there's a couple of options there.
And so you mentioned that like once they experience it, they stick around. So you're kind of referring to that aha moment, right? Because I know you wrote a blog post about that.
I did, yeah. I'm a big fan of understanding that kind of wow moment when a customer truly understands the value of your product. And it's at that point, I guess, that you can really leverage that point, whether it's with referral or sending the right message at the right time to make them a customer for the long term.
That wraps up our first episode of This Mobile Life. Stay tuned for episode 2 with Jason Allan from Cammy, where we continue the conversation, and check out our show notes on inspiredworlds.com for more details.